This is a video on how I wash wool fiber, half fleece, full fleece, by the pound. What you're seeing right now is about 2 pounds of beautiful Shetland wool that I just got. It's ultra soft, it's just wonderful, but it's probably filthy. It's got a lot of lanolin in it. There could be all kinds of stuff in it, because it always depends on where the sheep has been. A lot of times sheep farmers, they shear their sheep, but they don't wash the wool, and that's how I bought this. So you're looking at 2 pounds of Shetland in a bathtub, and I always bleach the bathtub afterward to make sure I've gotten rid of all germs or anything biological, but the bathtub is the easiest place to wash it. So what I'm going to do, it's all dry right now, and what I do is fill the bathtub with hot water until the fiber is covered. Once the fiber is covered, I do add a very mild detergent soap. It's not really a detergent. It's I can use Ivory liquid dish soap. I can use any kind of baby laundry detergent, anything gentle like that. I add to the first hot water bath, and you want the hot water to be as hot as possible for this first soaking. I shut the water off for a moment because I don't want you to have to listen to running water. But I wanted to point out that because there could be anything in this wool, I find a stick, and I use a stick to gently push the wool down into the water as I'm filling the tub. And the water will turn brown, whether it's sand, whether it's fecal matter, whether it's whatever. It could be anything. With a lighter wool, you can sometimes tell how dirty it is, but in a way, the darker wools are worse because you really have to make sure you get it clean. There's almost enough water now to cover the fleece, and as you can see, I'm just using a stick to push the wool down under the surface of the water. All of the white you see is lanolin and soap, and if you look, the water is very, very brown. So there is some kind of fecal matter mixed on the wool somehow, and sometimes I wear rubber gloves when I'm doing this, but if I'm using a stick and I wash my hands several times while I'm doing this, I don't worry too much. This first soaking will be for about a half an hour, and then you simply drain the bathtub and do it again. With adding the soap, I do it a total of 3 times with water as hot as I can get it coming from the faucet. And you will see that by the 3rd time, this water should be clear. You may have sand underneath the wool, but this water should be clear by the 3rd time. And if it isn't, you just keep doing it. You still use warm water, and you just, I've never had to do it more than, I don't think, 4 times. If something is that filthy that it takes more than 4 times, then maybe you don't want to use the wool anyway. When you drain your water out, you can see how brown this is. This is the first washing. Use your stick to keep the drain clear and move the wool fiber off to the side of the bathtub into a pile, and just let all of this brown yuck drain out. And because most fleeces have what they call short sections or seconds, those will go toward the drain, and you just want to keep clearing the drain while this drains out. Sorry, I moved the camera. You see how brown that is, and the second washing will probably be just as brown. The warmer water temperature is needed to actually melt the matter that might be in the fleece. When I buy Navajo Charro fleece, it's almost always got a ton of sand in it. I don't know if they like to roll around in the sand. I don't know if I buy a lot of it from New Mexico. Maybe there's just more sand down there. I don't know. You see there is some sand coming out of this. So that, you know, it's just dirt. Sheep have fun. They run around and they play. Okay, so now what I'll do is fill the tub again the same way I did the first time with the gentle soap and the warmest water I can get, and I'll move the fleece back into where it's all soaking underneath. Now this is going to be the second bath, and as you can see, you'll see that brown that's from underneath the fleece. So the water looks clear, but there's still a lot in the wool that you want to soak out. So I move the wool back so that it's all spread out in the bathtub. Fill the tub again to where all of the wool is covered, and then let this soak for 30 minutes again. And wash my hands again, even though I'm using a stick. While the wool is soaking, I'll show you how I'm going to dry it. This is a wooden drying rack. This happens to be an antique one that I picked up somewhere, and it works wonderfully. I've got 3 old towels on it with clothespins holding the towels in place because the wool is going to have some weight to it when it's wet. And when I'm done soaking it, I'll put it in some kind of a tub. I'll squeeze as much water out of it as I can, put it into a tub, bring it out here, and I will spread it out on these 3 towels to dry. Now right now it's sunny. It was supposed to rain today, so I wasn't sure I was going to do this. It's sunny now. If it starts to rain, the advantage of using this type of a drying rack is you can fold it up with the wool on it and stand it in your bathtub and let the wool drain, if it is still that damp, in your bathtub until the sun comes out again, and then bring it back outside. But this is an easy way to let the wool dry naturally, and it ends up fluffy, clean, and smelling wonderful and ready to spin. This is the start of the third bath for this wool, and you can see how clear the water is. There is still a little bit of brownish to it, but it's mainly sand that is falling to the bottom of the tub as I wash this. And that sand, any of it left in the wool, will spin out or knit or crochet or weave out. And that's about all the agitation I do. Very gently, just to get it all set where it needs to be. I don't agitate it because then you'll end up salting it, especially if you're using warm water. So you just want to be very gentle with it, but you can see the color of the water here. And that brown that you see is sand on the bottom. And this is the third time rinsing or soaking the wool like this. It's clean enough to touch now. Sorry about the noise with the water. Okay, the wool has been washed 3 times, and the majority of the water has drained out of the tub, but you can see there's still lanolin and some soap. So what I do is I move it all into the back corner of the bathtub, and I turn the shower on it for about 5 minutes, and it will rinse it out. This really is a nice fiber. There's very little seconds in it. I think it'll spin well, but I won't be able to really tell until it dries. So I'm going to turn the shower on it, rinse it, squeeze the excess water out, and then take it outside and place it on the rack I've set up for drying in the sun. Two notes. One, you'll see the water is running very clear from it. If you hadn't gotten it clean enough, you would see brown running away from the fiber. Also, the shower water is set at like a lukewarm. You don't want it cold and you don't want it hot. You want it just neutral temperature so that it doesn't affect the wool any longer. And there's the Shetland wool fiber spread out on the towels on the drying rack to dry. This is 2 pounds of fiber. Sometimes it's easier to do a pound at a time. It depends. This is the only 2 pounds I have of this, so I'll be spinning it all at the same time and using it all at the same time. So, but the fiber, you can see, has not felted at all. It's still in the shape that it was when I got it, right off the sheep. You know how it hangs together when it's sheared. It's really a beautiful fiber, and it's now ready. After it's dry, I will drum card it and spin it. And don't forget to wash and bleach the bathtub. Most bathtubs are porcelain, but you don't want to take a chance with anything that might have been on the sheep fiber. So don't forget to wash and bleach the bathtub after you're done.